I played more than 50 demos during Steam's Next Fest, and here are 5 games that you should definitely check out as well. When choosing the demos, I try to look for a good mix of genres, so I'm hoping there's something here for everyone. Starting off with Tears of Metal. Set in medieval Scotland, you have to defend your homeland from the invading Englishmen led by the devil himself, King Edward I. The main part of the game is spent on the battlefield, hacking and slashing at the waves of enemies, and it's fun. Tears of Metal does a great job of making you feel incredibly strong. All these peons can't touch you. But you still need to pay attention, because if you don't, they will prick you and your health is very limited. Your attacks can be chained into combos, and when you win the battle, you can level abilities that add special effects to them, like an explosion or a vortex. While most of the enemies in a wave are cannon fodder, there are always a few stronger ones where you need to block or parry to defeat them unscathed. If you get far enough, you'll even meet bosses who have special abilities of their own. After the battle, you survey the map to decide where to go next. Do you want to fight as many or as few battles as possible? The trade-off is pretty obvious. More fights mean more chances to gain abilities, but also more chances to die or lose your men, because you aren't fighting alone in Tears of Metal. Between rounds, you choose commanders to lead your men into battle and build barracks to train and gain new recruits. And you can also fight in online co-op with a friend. Tears of Metal is a roguelite, so the campaigns always start at 0 after a death, but the upgrades for your man, your barracks and yourself stay permanently. It's a very fun game, slashing through hordes of enemies feels great, and with every upgrade you feel more powerful. Once you get the parry down and even the captains can touch you, you've become an unstoppable force. And then the bosses show up and the difficulty ticks up markedly. It's definitely not an easy game and can be frustrating at times, but I found myself coming back to it again and again because the fighting's so much fun, it looks great and the soundtrack bangs. Whiskerwood is a strategy game with real-time and turn-based elements. Your villagers in this game aren't boring regular people, but cute mice. As such, you also don't pay taxes to a human king, but to the Claws, a gang of cats. You start off with nothing but a ship and a dream, and soon you will be building a tiny paradise where mice don't have to sleep outside. Most of them anyway. You don't directly control any of the mice, you just tell them you're a lumberjack, you're a fisher mouse, and you're homeless. Mice then work unsupervised for the most part, except for these miners who start slacking if you don't tell them where exactly you want them to dig. The gameplay is divided into days. Each day is 6 real minutes, though you can fast forward, and at the end of the day the mice eat, maybe take a bath and then go to sleep. They also tell you if you're doing good or fucking it all up. Mice that have to sleep outside or can't wash themselves will get cross with you, but you need approval to expand your population. New mice arrive per ship, but if your approval is too low you can't convince any to actually stay. You have to care for your mice, but also generate enough wealth to pay your taxes, which are due every few days. In the demo, maps are especially small, but Whiskerwood allows and wants you to build up or down or on the water anyway. In late game, your settlement is supposed to be a well-oiled machine, producing goods almost automatically, but in the demo, many of the options to optimize are still locked. The loop of needing the approval of your mice, but also having to pay the tax collector is already addictive though, cleverly integrating the one more round trap into the RTS gameplay. Overall, Whiskerwood is a cozy strategy game that still demands enough of you to keep you glued to the screen. It also offers a good level of complexity that's not overwhelming, but deep enough to fully dive into. I can't wait for the full release. Monsters Are Coming is a twist on the survivors genre, and if you like Vampire Survivors but you haven't played the Monsters Are Coming demo, what are you even doing? You're a peon and you have to protect your moving castle while also collecting resources like wood, stone and gold. Your castle of course isn't helpless for long. Once you level up you can expand your keep, for example with flame-throwing dragons. And that frees you up to do little side quests that gain your peon abilities or to collect wood so the dragon can throw more flames. The game hooks you almost immediately. While most Survivors games start out slow, in Monsters Are Coming you are one-hitting packs of monsters from the get-go. It's less about how strong they are and more about how many there are, and of course you can't be everywhere at once. Luckily, you can collect stone to repair your fortress if it did take damage. Stone, wood and gold can of course also be used to permanently improve yourself or your stronghold between runs. There's lots of things to do and discover, clearing monsters, clearing obstacles, clearing your schedule, little side quests along the road, bigger side quests in the safe zones, bosses, different maps, different bastions. It's a great variation on the genre that hooks you right away. Cairn is one of the most popular demos of this year's Next Fest, and for good reason. Even if you don't like bouldering, give this climbing survival game a shot. In Cairn, you climb mountains by placing your hands and feet one by one, sort of like quap or baby steps, but in serious. It only takes a short time to get used to the climbing, and soon you'll be scouting routes and scaling walls like you've been doing it your whole life. I was honestly really skeptical before I played the demo, and I'm still somewhat apprehensive about the survival aspect, which doesn't really come into play during the demo, but the climbing, which is the main focus of the game, is great. Placing my hand and feet into the tiniest nooks and crannies, constantly inching forward, just felt great. Every time my hand grabbed onto a ledge, I got that tiny feeling of success, and even when I fell, I didn't feel discouraged or frustrated. I just wanted to climb the wall even more, overcome the rocks, conquer the mountain, prove once and for all that I too could climb El Capitan if I wanted to. Like I mentioned, there's also a survival aspect. You can pitch a tent, which doubles as a save point, where you can sleep or cook anything you found on your journey. There also seems to be some sort of story, but like the survival aspect, this is only hinted at in the demo. I would recommend everyone to at least try the demo. It's free, takes about 35 minutes to beat, and you can even see how everyone else did. Before we get to the last game, I'm gonna do a sort of quickfire round of games that I also really liked, but that didn't get a full part because I wanted to keep this video shortish. Skate Story. We already made a standalone video about it, so check that out if you're interested, and unless you really hate skating, definitely check out the demo. It's a very fun game with a great style. The Berlin Apartment. It's a walking simulator where you accompany 3 different people in 3 different time periods who all lived in the same apartment in Berlin. If you're okay with walking simulators and you've ever asked yourself, I wonder who lived here 50 years ago and what that was like, give it a try. Even though nothing much happens in the demo, it got me a little emotional. Jackal, a gory top-down shooter where you basically just have to kill everything that moves with your hands, feet, guns and even magic. Fast-paced and stylish, if you like Hotline Miami, you're gonna like this one. Slots and Daggers. A slot machine based roguelike where you fight, defend or get rich based on your pulls. You fight monsters, you upgrade and you fight more monsters. It's fun and stylish, but the slot mechanic means that fights aren't won or lost on skill alone, which can be frustrating. High Times. A dating sim where you're a donut maker. Do not make the mistake of missing this one if you're into dating sims. Humor and writing in general is of course highly subjective, but I liked it. Neon Highways. 80s driving simulator basically. You drive, you hit checkpoints, you flip your car and you drive more. Very relaxing, and the different render modes are a very cool idea. Schedule, another survivors-like. This time the skills are on the floor. It's a great idea, it plays great, the only problem is that there's 0 text in the entire game and I'm not sure what this icon is even supposed to be. But it doesn't matter, still very fun. Hand of Hexes. A completely hand-drawn tower defense deck builder where your defenses are made up of several animals. Also 0 words in this one, but once you try out the cards, they are pretty self-explanatory. Lots of fun, cool style, cute cat. Four Striker. The devs of Four Striker basically made cramming for a test the whole game, and it works surprisingly well. Via Four Strike you can quickly practice a fight over and over until you figured out how to beat every enemy and memorize every move, and then you just have to do it for real. Ruby Knight. Ruby Knight is a boss rush Souls-like with great pixel art visuals, interesting characters and fights that were honestly a bit too hard for my taste. And now, a word from our sponsor, ourselves. We made a game called Berry Hunt Survivors. It's a survivors-like where you play as grandma, you got your dentures, your trusty broom and you beat up monsters for stealing your jam. It's out on Steam for $3, there's also a demo now, so please check it out, and if you find any bugs just let us know and we'll get on it. And with that, let's get to the final game. Winter Burrow is probably my favorite of the bunch. You play as a mouse who has just lost her parents and is moving back to the old burrow to live out their dream of living wild and free. Despite the somber backstory, Winter Burrow is actually a quite cozy survival game where the survival aspect doesn't overshadow other parts of the gameplay. Yes, you need to eat, and since it's winter you can't stay outside for too long without freezing, but you still have ample time to explore and find resources. The goal is to bring the old burrow back to its former glory, and so the first thing you do is build yourself a nice little bed and then knit yourself a hat to keep warm. Most of the game is spent solo, although there are some bug friends around who apparently you're supposed to eat, but since we'd become besties in the meantime, I chose to keep munching on shrooms and berries instead. Once you repair the stove, you can even make mushroom skewers. What more could you want? Small aside, I also played Angst, another survival game set in the snow where you also have to subsist on just mushrooms and berries for a while and can also make mushroom skewers over the fire. And despite all these similarities, the vibes of the games are obviously extremely different. Winter Burrow is cute and cozy, and Angst is less cozy. I mean, for a start, you're a low-poly dude instead of a cute hand-drawn mouse. But I thought the parallels were pretty interesting. Anyway, back to Winter Burrow. I think the biggest question around games like this is, are there enough things to do to keep you playing? In the first hour there definitely were, and I 100% want to play the full game, but there's always a chance that it becomes too repetitive. Looking at the trailer though, and also all the things still to do around the burrow in the demo, I have high hopes. The cozy atmosphere and the cute hand-drawn style definitely make me want to see more. And of course there's also a story around the aunt, though I'm not sure if it will become an actual story or just something that sort of happens in the background. But honestly, I would be completely fine with that. I just want to build the nicest burrow for my mouse. What games did you play during Next Fest? Did I miss any that should have been in this video? Let me know in the comments, subscribe if you want to say more, and don't forget to smash that like button. Bye!